So Zane, who would you say is the best fictional hero?
Oh, it's totally got to be this guy.
We are Venom.
No, dude, that's a villain. I'm talking about somebody like, you know, Superman, Wonder Woman, somebody like that.
Oh, of course. You mean like this girl right here?
Oh, I haven't had breakfast yet.
No, that's a villain too. Is it just me, or are we more infatuated with villains today than we are the heroes?
I say we look at that and talk about it.
Let's talk about why we love villains.
And why do you love villains?
And you, and you.
And you get a villain, and you get a villain?
So why we love villains.
Right after this.
Welcome to Whiskey Pop. My name is Jeff.
And I am Zane.
And today we're going to talk about why we love villains.
Or are we?
Or are we all going to talk about why we love villains?
I think we do love villains.
I think we do. I mean, do you guys out there see that we tend to lean toward more with villain love now than we do superhero love, right?
Oh, I think we do.
I mean, people,
for sure.
How many people want to be a stormtrooper?
Oh, yeah.
Then be a Jedi.
Oh,
sometimes.
yeah. You know, your choices are cool looking armor or bathrobes.
It's a total dick move.
Fucking the Jedi.
No,
to
that's
be
true.
clear.
That's
but,
true.
Come on.
But you know, before we get started,
we have some drink that needs to be opened.
some whiskey, right?
And this one is actually pretty interesting.
It is. There is an interesting story behind this one,
Yeah.
but today we're going to try Uncle Nearest 1856.
Ooh, can I open that one?
Yeah, please do.
All right.
You know, there is some Jack Daniels history behind this.
There
whiskey.
is, but we're not going to talk about that today.
Because we're going to talk about that on...
And if anybody starts knocking Jack, thinks what they've done for the industry.
Yeah, wait till you see what...
And what he's done for Jack. Okay.
Let's go in.
Well, we're waiting.
It's solid.
That's a nice, solid whiskey, right?
That's solid.
It's 100 proof. I can't wait to talk more about this week on Second Pour.
Yeah. So the second pour happens on Friday when we're really fun.
Yeah, we get really crazy.
Yeah, sure.
So in the meantime, today we're talking about why we love villains.
And heroes. Wait, no
heroes, just the villains
That's
today.
right.
Now, what about you guys? Who's your favorite villain? Write down below who your favorite villain is, why you like that villain so much. Because it does seem like we tend to like villains more than we do superheroes.
Yeah, and has anybody ever really thought about why that is? I mean, obviously, we dissect things like this on a regular basis.
Because we're geeks. We're whiskey geeks, we're geek geeks, we're old school geeks even.
We're so geeky that we make geeks look geeky. Wait, that we look geeky compared to geeks. There we go,
We're
that's
just
it.
old looky geeky.
All right, so
I think we should talk about some of the characteristics of what villains make them so cool.
number one.
They're driven to a goal.
Try to take over the world.
Well, of course they are. They're villains. They're usually needing to rob a bank or something or destroy
Change
the
the
universe.
world in some way where it's askew.
It doesn't
right?
have to be so horrible.
No, sometimes it's like the world is broken. Let's kill 50% of the universe to make it better.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, that's an admirable goal.
As all things should be.
They also answer to no one.
Do you feel in charge?
I don't want anybody to tell me what to do.
Exactly. They also are a big rule breaker.
You can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs.
Do you follow rules?
Maybe that's some of it, right?
Yeah, it could be. Maybe so.
They speak their mind.
Don't ever apologize for being the smartest one in the room.
Okay, now in today's world, nobody can have an opinion of their own or speak their mind.
Unless you're a villain, and then you can say whatever you want.
Because then it's like, oh, because there's
You're a
no
bad guy.
repercussions and
Yeah.
they can't destroy your world any more than it already is destroyed.
They tend to have cooler suits, toys, and weapons.
Where does he get those wonderful toys?
Now that is true. Okay, look. Just take one of our favorite TV shows,
Okay.
The Mandalorian that we
Oh,
watched.
yeah.
Seasons
I mean,
of, right?
Mandalorian's got some badass weapons.
When Boba Fett shows up and he finally puts on his suit.
Yeah.
It takes the level of how cool everything is from here
to like up here.
up
right?
to here.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been looking at that suit for decades. And that's the thing. We are attracted to those guys' suits. I mean, Vader's suit is iconic.
In Darth Vader's case, did you ever think your grandpa on his CPAP machine would be that scary?
Okay, we might be offending people here.
Now, that's the thing. I think the final thing is people fear villains.
Tasty, tasty, beautiful fear.
So when you live in a world where people really don't find you very much of a threat,
Yeah.
I mean, being a villain seems to be kind of the cool thing, right?
Yeah.
That was a threat. See the difference?
Because think about it. What do we do? I mean, what do you guys do? I mean, you do pay your taxes. You go to work. You go to school.
You go to church.
You go to
do
church.
all those things.
You're
you
a
check
good
off list,
person,
right?
but secretly deep down, you're like.
There's been a generation that's grown up, I think, is constantly in the dark. So like
Sure.
we have been at war or under some kind of threat since what, 2002?
Oh yeah.
It seems more so since 2002.
Yeah, sure. There's been literally combat and war going on for 2 decades.
So, I mean, that opens the door for an entire generation that's all they know
Yeah.
is this dark thing. So all they've seen is the fall of heroes. And we've seen celebrity stars, we've seen, you know, basketball players, football players.
Absolutely.
People we thought were really good people just fall from grace.
Yeah. Not that we're like, falling into some sort of syndrome where, our stars are who we worship or anything.
No, but I think we tend to see those people more often, so we tend to try to reflect upon.
And thank you, social media, for letting me know how much of an asshole all these people are.
That's true. And then also, then we've realized our heroes are really flawed.
Yeah, that's true. And with that being said, because of the reality of what we see day to day and how dark things are, I would say, wouldn't you guess that you just can't relate to heroes?
I think you're right. I think we have the Superman syndrome. We've gotten to the point of it's the perfect Boy Scout. I can't be that.
Sure you don't really mean that.
Well, think about this. Okay, you got Henry Cavill, and he's Superman. He's the greatest Superman I know.
Since Christopher Reeves.
I'm stepping on toes.
Since Christopher Reeves.
But think about this. As a hero, who do you relate to more? The Witcher, Henry Cavill?
Oh.
Or do you relate more to the Supes, Henry Cavill?
Because you got to think about even The Witcher, Henry Cavill, has got some gray area, right?
Oh, absolutely. And everybody's like really drawn to that.
They love that character.
Because they can relate to that more so. It's hard to relate to something without any imperfections.
It seems like we growing up were raised around a ton of very perfect heroes, right?
Yeah, sure, of course.
And then over the decades, those heroes continue to kind of fall. And, and that's why I think we tend to like Batman more when he's more human than he is when he's just Adam West.
Yeah, because now there's not really even that argument going on that Batman doesn't use guns. That's kind of stopped.
I mean, I watched the
Have you noticed that?
I watched the 1989 Batman recently again, right?
Yeah.
He goes in and blows up a whole bunch of people. Shoots them, the whole bit. That's 1989 Batman.
Yeah, he actually, let's see.
He goes into Joker's place, drops the bomb, the cars shoot people as he's going through.
But see, that was all remote, so it wasn't real.
He was still there.
We need to make a correction right now. It's not 1989 Batman. It's just Batman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he is.
Yeah, he is Batman.
So I think there is a deeper issue here.
Of course.
I mean, think about it. Just like we talked about up front, there's an entire group across the United States in the world of garrisons of stormtroopers like the 501, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
I mean, people want to dress up and be the bad guys. I mean, the stormtroopers are the bad guys.
Oh, of course.
But they tend to relate to that more. Mm-hmm. But those bad guys are like visiting hospitals and orphanages and stuff and doing all these great things, but they're still the bad guys.
and you have a point there. We're starting to get stories that are fleshed out enough to that we even can see these bad guys
as possible good guys.
Yeah, I mean,
like Finn's story, right?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Even with Finn and his story, I mean, but you're seeing those things exactly play out to where there's two sides to every coin.
Yeah, that's true.
I think we're exploring that more.
I mean, think about it. I hear tons of people all the time. They don't side with Gryffindor in Harry Potter. They're like, no, I'm Slytherin.
You mean you're like a Hufflepuff?
Yeah, nobody's a Hufflepuff. Nobody's.
Hufflepuff?
We just made a whole bunch of Hufflepuffs upset today.
Hufflepuff!
And it's like Star Trek even.
Yeah, for sure.
People sided Klingons were the bad guys.
Yeah, and for the record, there have been people married using the language of Klingon.
Captain, I told you don't Klingon.
Yeah. So this is really somebody embracing a quote-unquote bad guy culture.
I think people tend to think villains have more fun. Now, real world villains, not so much.
No.
But these make-believe villains, they have a lot of fun.
Ask a real-time villain what he's doing in his spare time in prison. In the shower.
What do you guys think? I mean, do you think that we're onto something here? Do we tend to like villains more than heroes, right?
Yeah, the anti-hero is even more popular than
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, all of them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and one of my personal favorites is Hellboy.
Hellboy is a demon.
He's a demon
trying to atone for what his future really is.
His future's gonna be, but
destroy the planet.
What his legacy or his past,
yeah,
his origins tell him he has to be, and he's like, no, I'm gonna do this right.
And you think it's crazy, but I mean, we've had every movie we've had lately seems to be a bad guy movie.
Oh,
I mean, come on, guys. Even Deadpool. Deadpool's not really a good guy.
No,
he's a mercenary.
You got a point. But you're right. Yeah. I think we do love the heroic things when they're polished more into a bad guy suit.
Now, what's interesting about all this talk? Do you find, guys, that we tend to want to make sure that the villain becomes a hero? Do we want to see retribution, you know, a flip around to that hero, that villain becoming a good guy? Mm-hmm. We have something where we like the villain, but we kind of also want the villain to do good things.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like, that's not really the villain. That's just a guy who used to be bad, who's now good, and nobody will date.
Oh my God.
Girls like bad boys.
No, they just like the smell of leather and loud motorcycle pipes.
So what do you guys think? Do you think that there's a big love of villains, or do you think we're just full of shit?
And in the meantime, please like and subscribe because we deserve it.
No, don't like and subscribe. We don't need you. Just don't even put anything down there. I mean, I thought the villain is how you want to play this. Is this good cop, bad cop? Am I wrong?
Don't you ever subscribe to us.
I mean,
ever.
I mean, why would you subscribe? It's not like we're interesting or funny.
Yeah, I mean, and because we're so professional and we're pros here on YouTube.
We're not professionals because we're just amateurs. So in the meantime, you guys continue to be geeky this week. Please definitely like and subscribe to the channel. I just recently set up our Whiskey Pop group page. Oh, so now we can
I guess I should sign up for that.
Yeah, you probably should. So we can actually get out there and talk about whiskey, talk about geek stuff, and the link will be at the bottom of the description here.
Until then, montage up.
Hey, cheers.
Here we go.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
You gotta catch the wolf, and it takes a wolf to catch a wolf, you understand?
Kneel before sword.
You sly dog! You got me monologuing!
I'm glad you asked that because I wanted to take this time to explain my evil plan.
You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.